Forget what you heard. Yeah, boy!
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Forget What You Heard. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Luke. Today we're going to be going over Dogman, the legend.
Roof. Dogman. And when we talk about Dogman, we're not talking about a wiener dog with jorts on, wearing New Balances and reading glasses with a little ball cap on. We're talking about the Dogman, Luke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're not talking about the Dogman with the bifocals and the bookworm.
Yeah,
we're talking about one of the scariest living creatures there are in the world itself.
For sure, and I guess it's kind of up the same stream as Sasquatch in terms of not being, I guess, proven real. But the Dogman, the history goes back, way back. So travel with me back in time to the Egyptian days. You know how the Egyptians had those weird, dog head people?
Yeah.
In their murals? The half man, half dog was kind of a big deal in Egyptian days.
Anubis
was
the dog head human body.
Yeah, it was real thin. And then there was stories about, or written journals from Marco Polo and Christopher Columbus. When they traveled, they documented seeing this dog-like creature in Greek mythology, and a lot of early civilizations had this, there was dogs around, and they were known to be, bloodthirsty, evil, kind of, kicked out of society. They're just bad news, man. Dark creatures that didn't really bring anything to society. If anything, scared and, threatened the human race.
Yeah, dogmen, Puerto Rico man. Doesn't really matter, man. These are entities you don't want to mess with. Very scary, very dark.
Puerto Ricans are fine people.
Because canine deities represent death and afterlife. Anubis was important to the ancient civilization in Egypt, and he's the god of the underworld. So I think that's kind of what it depicts, man, is this dog head, human body, described as, a demon or, a werewolf-like.
Let's cut the crap. Have you ever seen Dogman?
Yeah, I met him in a bar.
So no.
Maybe I was mistaken.
Yeah, you probably just saw
the other dog with the bifocals.
No, you probably saw the local guy that goes in there every day to the bar.
Yeah, he's probably just a little one.
He let himself go.
Black lab, just let it go.
Oh, yeah. Well, so we've been doing some extensive research on Dogman, and it seems as though this kind of comparable to Sasquatch in terms of not being seen.
Kind of mythological.
Yeah, like a cryptid. But, man, Sasquatch has some good stories. But the Dogman, every single one's pure fear and evil. No one's ever just had a nice encounter. He seems like he's there to torture your soul. And he is very strange looking and peculiar.
Are you able to tell the people the story of the guy on the highway?
Yes, I'd love to dive into that story.
Very good.
So this guy, he's driving down the highway. He sees what he thinks is some kind of four-legged creature, and he stops because he didn't want to hit it, and he skids. And he's horizontal in the road now, so he's taking up 2 lanes, if you can see that.
2-lane university.
And then he almost flipped. And then he sees this dog-like creature, and it's on all fours, but as he's like, what is that? That's not a wolf, that's not a coyote. And then the creature proceeds to get on his hind legs and starts to sprint towards his car, and he's peeling out. His pedal was to the metal. Need for speed. Just janking the lank. Hit that Gundit. Spun around. Smoke flying. Tires catching smoke. Spinning them. Bolts it. He gets up to 65 in about 4 seconds. However, the dogman is sprinting and he's still gaining on him and ends up hitting the bumper of his car and then moseying off to the side of the road, disappearing, never to be seen again. Can you imagine that just scenario? And he said the dogman was like 6 foot, 7 foot, standing up like on his hinds with the running 65.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. I know he mentioned how I guess it can run on its fours and then it can stand up and run on its hinds.
Yeah,
like a human.
Yeah, like I think I guess you just have to catch them, but they'll be on either or. Like Sasquatch, you mainly see him on twos. These are, dogman.
Yeah, I guess he kind of knew. I guess he didn't know what it was. He didn't know if it was a coyote, a wolf, or what it was on its fours. It was just a big looking. He said its head was really big, ears were really big, and the shape of his like torso and body were just abnormal, like not something you normally seen.
Like he had a hump in his back when he stood up. Like he's meant to be on all fours.
Hunchback of Notre Dame, where his head's kind of weirdly positioned.
Yeah, and that thing just imagine you're in a car. You're like, what is that? And then it looks at you.
It stands up. That's insane.
Like, I don't know, man. I would really question life. I'd be chilled to the core to the point where.
Yeah, I remember he mentioned that he felt like death. Like he said he was having a good time listening to his music, just cruising. And as soon as he saw it and had this encounter with it, like he literally felt empty, negative energy, just completely felt horrible after that. Which I don't blame him at all, because I wouldn't know what's right, what's wrong, what's left, what's up, what's purple, what's green.
That's the thing about the dogman. Like I don't like Sasquatch. I would like to experience that, but dogman, I don't want any part. I don't want anything to do with that canine Homo sapien creature, because I haven't heard one story where the dogman's like, taking a urine on a fire hydrant.
No, they're more of like finding your local dog and ripping them to shreds.
Yeah, they're evil. Like that's. You want to get into that story?
Yeah, let's get into it.
So there's this lady, and she lives in the middle of nowhere, basically. And her pets would start going missing, her dogs. And she's never lost dogs before, but it wasn't just they were going missing, it was they were getting ripped apart. Like she said that the dogs weren't even eaten, and they'd be ripped to shreds and sometimes stuffed under like buildings or structures, like very strange. That no predator that's looking to eat is going to do that. This was just like for evil purposes, like no really, they didn't get, I mean, I guess they got some kind of sick pleasure in it, and so she's sitting in her house one night and she hears her dog getting ripped up, basically so she's like, you know what, I'm not having this happen again. She gets her AR, she slaps it on her back, goes outside, and she sees a creature, and he runs behind. I guess she had like a 18-wheeler.
Yeah, like a semi-truck
in her driveway, and it scurries behind it. And she's like, what in God's name is that? And she goes over there. She shines a light, and she can see, she describes it as like a hand, but a claw, like on the, it's like peeking around the semi-truck, and his hands like, and he's like peeking out, and what she described as like a demon werewolf kind of vibe she got from it. And the scariest part about it is she said it had a smirk, like it was like a devious look, like it was like, yeah, I know you see me, but you're not knowing what I really am, what's going on. And she had the gun, but in most cases she was frozen in fear. and she didn't pull the trigger. She just ended up, dragging the injured dog, which ended up perishing. Rest in peace, Scotty. And
Scotty Barnes, rest in peace.
Yeah, and he
there's another interesting part of that is apparently the kid had already seen this creature too. I think they have some big farm or farmland.
Like a cornfield.
Yeah, they saw him, I guess, on the banks of the corn or right there on the line. And he's like, yeah, I've seen that creature like the other day. She like freaked, like, why didn't you tell me what's going on? He's like, well, how could I tell you that there's a big dog or whatever I saw? Like, you wouldn't believe me. And then I guess, the next day, unfortunately, they had to lose their dogs. But in the past, too, that they kept hearing, like, their dogs, like, squealing and screaming, like, terribly. They never knew what it was, but I guess they finally caught it this time. And, yeah, like Aaron said, man, they shone a light on them. It looked like, she described it as a werewolf, like the ones that we see in the movies and stuff, like Van Helsing. Yeah, it was hissing at the gun, but, had that smirk on its face because, it's something that, we're not used to seeing. And he knows that there was so much fear put into these people.
Yeah, and I remember her son came up behind her. It was like, Mom, that's a demon. She's like, oh, no, that's flesh and blood. That's no demon. But she was like, I got that weird vibe from it. Like, I closed my eyes and envision this scenario, and I would be forever frightened of going outside in the dark.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I know.
She was.
Yeah, for sure. You would be shaking out of your shorts, but, I'm pulling that trigger, man. I mean, as ruthless as, nasty as that sounds, I'm, putting a clip in that thing. Regardless, you're killing my dogs. I don't know what you are. You're a wolf that walks on your twos.
Yeah, but...
You're getting a clip. I don't care how scared I am. I don't care if I can walk towards you or not. I'm at least shooting at it.
It's easier said than done.
I'm just saying, if I was...
I don't think you would.
I would just sit around and let it walk around it. No, I would.
You'd be frozen. You've never had one of those moments where you've seen something you weren't supposed to see.
Yeah, but I mean...
I've been close.
But like she was angry, she was curious, but I would have definitely... you got to do something, at least warning shots, at least, I don't know.
You don't understand.
If you saw a werewolf, you would just sit there and you had a gun in your hand. No,
I think I would be the same way as her, frozen in fear, because I'm like, there's no way, like I'm like delirious. I must have taken some kind of, the mushrooms I ate in my spaghetti must have been psilocybin. This can't be happening. Like my brain would be shooting so many just messages and trying to go through all the things I know and I've seen that are real, and this isn't one of them. I'd be shook. I'd be put on pause, like she was. Like, there's no other way. Like, yeah, you could say, yeah, I'll have a gun and I'll shoot at it, but it's different when you're in that. Like, I can only imagine, and I think I'd be worse than her. Like, I wouldn't have stayed much longer. I would have seen it and left.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would have. I don't know if I could have lived there.
It's hopefully something that you never come across or anything like that.
But I heard the way that you can kind of tame a dog man is if you can manage to get a collar on it, then he becomes a full dog. They take the man off.
What happens to the man?
No, he turns into a dog, so he's on all fours all the time. He's kind of a nice guy, plays fetch, rolls over like his belly rubbed.
But you have to collar?
You have to get a collar on him.
He throw the tennis ball?
Yeah, he throws it. He'll get the tennis ball. But he's just like a big dog. Scary looking.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't do it.
You couldn't get the collar on him?
I wouldn't want that thing.
Well, if he wasn't, take all the evil out of him.
Yeah, I'm good on it.
You wouldn't try to do that?
No, I don't know. I don't think they're very good-looking animals. I think they're really...
I think they're
super ugly and gross looking.
But it's better than have a dog man run around. You just got a dog.
I'd rather have a man dog.
So like a man that walks on all fours?
Yeah. No, it's a dog body with a man head.
That'd be scarier than dog man.
That would be terrifying.
And the man head, he had a cul-de-sac?
Yeah, it was just like a white man, older white man.
A middle-aged?
Like your local neighbor, like, hey, Greg.
I would be
He's like a wolf.
But he talks like a normal human?
Yeah, just like an old white guy, cul-de-sac with glasses.
That would be scarier than Dogman.
That's a crazy image, actually.
See, that one I'd put, I don't know, man. I'd have to.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it's an interesting concept, but
I think they're more, I think they're more prevalent than Sasquatches. They're real famous in Michigan.
Yeah, the Michigan stories are insane.
Yeah, check them out.
1937.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Oh, tell me about
Christopher Columbus?
Yeah.
The Mayflower?
Yeah.
Oh, that was the Pilgrims. But Christopher Columbus came over and he, and Marco Polo. Oh, Marco Polo's.
Marco
Polo.
Yeah.
And then they wrote about him how there's a group, and he's like, man, you gotta steer clear of those dogmen. They keep eating our people and stealing our kids and stuff.
Yeah, watch them twang things.
Yeah, and
the street beast.
Yeah, they were scoundrels, and it was pretty evident in their writing that these things were they were around, man, and they were doing their thing. And the dogman's never been friendly. And they don't even want money or anything. They want blood.
Did they come out at night like werewolves?
I assume.
Has anyone seen them during the day?
I'm sure. Sasquatch is supposed to be nocturnal.
Yeah, that's true.
But I feel like they can hide even better than Sasquatch. Because, if you see their prints, it's like, oh, it's just a dog.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're probably super quiet and cool.
They probably climb trees and stuff.
What would you name a dogman that you met?
Lester.
Lester?
Yeah.
That's a good name.
Yeah, it's a good, cat name. Like Garfield.
I'm talking about dogs, though. Dogman. If you saw a dogman, you're like...
Probably Grady.
Grady?
Yeah. What about you?
Sterling?
Or Bartleby?
Bartleby?
Bartleby, yeah.
I'd probably name him Sterling.
Really?
Yeah.
Would you...
Or Lars.
Would you feed it tuna?
Nah, you'd have to get something bigger than that. I think it was the dogmen on that Skinwalker Ranch that were eating them cats.
It had to have been, yeah. But it never stood up.
Maybe Dogman's like a skinwalker.
Maybe the skinwalker is Dogman.
Because I looked up Dogman, it was like, something about how skinwalkers put on like a dog head or something.
Yeah, maybe it's all one big cluster.
I wonder if Dogman and Sasquatch know about each other.
What if they're mom and dad?
What do you mean?
What if they were somebody's mom and dad?
I'm sure they have kids. Well, I know Sasquatch. There's a story about a Sasquatch that was holding hands with a little junior. Sass man.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then...
What about Dog Squatch?
I like Sass man. Well, what if there's a dog woman?
Crazy how, they could run 65 miles an hour. Imagine, walking in the forest at night and seeing something speed by you going, 60. You're like, what in the world was that?
I would just think it was a pocket rocket.
I don't know. I would be spooked because you probably couldn't see the figure. It's moving so fast.
There's another story about a guy who was running. He was in the forest and he was also next to a cornfield, but he was running parallel to the cornfield. And there was something running perfectly paced with him. He's like, that can't be a deer or anything because it would run the other way, and it can't be a human because you can't run through cornfields like that. And he's like, all right, there's something. And he could see the corn moving, and he was and it was perfectly at pace with him. Not a step behind, not a step ahead of him. And then he was like, okay, this is not good. And then he broke off and was going to climb a tree, but he couldn't. And then he saw the dog man. And he was freaking out. And he was like, my friend lives near here. He ran to his friend's house, jumped the fence, and dove into the pool, went to the very bottom and looked up. And he's like, I know that thing's going to be waiting for me at the edge of the pool. I know it. And he came up and the dog wasn't there. And he ran into his friend's house. But he described the dog man really well too.
How did he describe it?
Same with the arch back, not a very big chest, like lanky arms, like hand-like claws, fast as a bullet.
Interesting.
I think they like to either scare. I think they're like demonic, man, because every encounter that I've read or heard, it's like this thing is a demon, this thing is evil. Like I guess like the face or something. I don't know. And the eyes are red. Yeah, but the thing is, like, whenever they go number 2, they look like a dog. It's not like they're doing the human thing. And when they go pee, they lift up their leg. So in a way, if you saw them in that element, it would be comforting. But the fact that you don't see them doing that, and you just see them on 2s, it strikes fear in one's heart.
Maybe they just need some love.
That's not a bad. I mean, that could be the solution for all of these problems. Is you just need to go in there with the utmost love in your heart. But I think that's nearly impossible when you're faced with this circumstance. Because a lot of times you're deep in the forest, you're in the middle of nowhere, it's dark. Like, I get scared in the forest if I'm, like, by myself walking through it. Even if it's in the middle of Friendswood, like I used to do.
But usually, like, dogs are normally, like, known for being loving and, like, a man's best friend, and play with them, pet them, cuddle them, kiss them.
Yeah, but the thing about, I used to go through these forests at night to get back home from a friend's house, but I never thought about Bigfoot or Dogman. I was always thinking of Goatman and Blair Witch.
You ever seen them?
Yeah, Blair Witch used to freak me out, but then I saw the movie and it didn't scare me.
What about Goatman?
I just met him, or I saw his lair. Remember the story?
Yeah, will you need to tell me the story?
I think I've already told it on the pod.
Will you tell it again?
Yeah, I was going...
Or describe Goatman to the people.
I didn't see Goatman.
Oh, you don't? Do you know what he looks like, though?
Yeah.
Can you describe it?
You ever see Mr. Tumnus? But
Narnia?
He's bigger, and he's black.
So he's a human face with horns and...
No, he's goat.
So he's a goat head.
Goat with, like... But he stands on 2s and he's got hooves. He's more goat than man.
So he's basically a goat, but just like in a human-shaped body, but still a goat?
Yeah, and he's black.
I thought he was white.
No, black as night.
Black hair?
Scary. Green, gold eyes.
But he's got black fur?
Yeah. But his eyes are, they're goat eyes, so they're scary. And he's got the horns.
Nice.
He's got the horns. Big boy.
How big? Like 8 feet?
No, I'd say he's like 6 foot.
Oh.
But that's still pretty scary.
That's scary, yeah.
But I mean, whenever I was venturing on my own in the forest, and I stumbled upon a stump that is hollowed out, and there's a toilet paper roll. I was like, someone must be... And I look up, I glance up, and right there was a little makeshift shack. It was really well made. And I just saw piles of tires outside, because that's his choice to keep people away.
Tires keep people
And I
out?
knew at that moment I had stumbled upon Goatman's lair, and I did not want to be an uninvited visitor to that location.
Was that your last time there?
Yep, and I never showed anyone.
Do you still know where it is to this day?
I know exactly where, the longitude and latitude.
Can you take me?
Yeah, but we're going to have to go undercover.
Yeah, we'll just wear badges and FBI suits.
No, we'll get a tire hitting your head.
Dress up like goats and smell like fruit by the foot.
No, you just got to keep your distance, and hopefully he's not there. I got lucky, man.
Why?
He wasn't there.
Is he dangerous?
I mean, yeah, he's dangerous. He doesn't want people around. I mean, it's deep in that forest, man, and you have to... It's not like there's a path. You go through thick stuff. I don't know what I was doing back there. Something was calling me.
But does he go out and find certain people or things to kill and stuff, or...
I'm sure small game, squirrels, rabbits.
Is he known for his violence?
He doesn't... I don't think he kills. I think the tires are more of a defense. Like, get out of here. Because oftentimes they'll throw the tire before you get close. But I was quiet, and...
Did you have any senses that he was in his lair?
I didn't want to go. I didn't take one more step forward. Turned around and went the other way.
Did it seem empty?
It could have. I didn't hear anything going on.
It definitely wasn't at the toilet. We know that.
Yeah, I was thinking about using it. Like, I was about to, but then I looked up and there was a cabin. Or there was a shack.
It's an actual shack?
Yeah. But there's no way it can still be there. I think they've done a lot of construction. I don't know if that forest is still there. You know what forest I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly what it is.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we'll stay tuned for Goatman for sure. We'll see what's going on.
Yeah, we'll vlog it.
Possibly.
Yeah.
But back to Dogman. You think there's any correlations with Dogman and the Squatch?
I think there is some kind of... My question is, what makes them, get at some people but not at others? Like, there's people that live in the middle of nowhere and never seen a Squatch or Dogman. And there's people that, they just moved somewhere and then I think they just have these territories that they want. And
yeah, I'd assume, location matters, too, really. It's I couldn't give you a map of, where they are, but I'm sure there's, communities and tribes in certain areas,
Yeah, I'm sure. I just don't... it's just hard to explain, really. If I was in an argument with someone, I would probably just give up. And I would just end the argument with, "You'll see." It would send that message to them.
Yeah, you better watch your back, son.
I know what's going on out there in those woods, boy. There's some things lurking in the shadows. There's some things that you don't want to see. There's some things your imagination can't even wrap your head around. There's some things that'll turn your stool solid.
There's some things that'll turn your intestines into water cups.
Yeah, exactly, man.
You better be careful.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what you gotta... It's like...
There's some things out there that'll turn your skin into potato chips. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, yeah, crispy. But it's just... I think you should go... If you don't believe or you do believe, just go at it with respect.
Don't be going in there cracking jokes, acting like these creatures. You're going to get slapped in the rear.
Yeah, you're going to get hit with a big dose of some kind of weird reality that you never even fathomed.
Could be a stench, it could be verbal, it could be physical.
Yeah, and you could really get your world rocked. That's why, as people, we need to get that sixth sense back. We need to stop.
Open up our third eye.
Yeah, I'm actually working on writing a new textbook that I'm going to send off to all public schools. What you're going to go over the whole semester? Curriculum?
Yeah, something like that.
I'm going to make a curriculum or a class that teaches about cryptids and what to do and how to handle it so that when it does happen, it doesn't ruin your life.
Is there no such class as that?
Aquatic science. For all the people, these things, they ruin people's lives. I listened to a Sasquatch story. It was East Texas again. I'll have to send it to you. And it was wild. They're throwing, he thought he was going to die because it's a long story, but...
Who did it?
Some guy in East Texas was, getting just bullied by Sasquatches. They threw logs at him, acorns, and they were actually hitting him.
Really?
And then, he got fed up. The first time he saw one, or the roar, he peed his pants and he started crying on the podcast. He was yeah, and the sad part about it is I relieved myself in my pants. And then he started getting choked up, and Wes had to come in and be like, "Hey, man, it happened, man. People did the same thing in that situation." But he was, really crying. I felt bad for him. But he got, dude, he was bullied.
He didn't drop a deuce.
He was bullied, man. They were going to kill him, but he shot it.
Wait, so how was he getting bullied? Do you know?
Yeah, there's multiple, and they would, yell, throw things at him. And then he saw one that was the biggest one, but less hairy. And he would walk back and forth, but he'd look over to his right, trying to get the guy to look where he was looking to, distract him. Because I think there was one behind him. Because he kept getting hit. And he got hit with, a rock in his head, and he got a big knot. And he was, crying. Because he was that was the third time he's been there. because he kept getting like freaked out and leaving. He thought he had a heart attack one time. He went to the hospital. They said, "Nah, man, you're good." And he went back out because his family's land for 20 years, and he's like, "I can't. My family goes there. I gotta see what's going on." And the last time he just like was crying. He's like, "I'm gonna die," because there was, I don't know, like 2 or 3. And like one of them was like literally trying to like bait him to, like, I don't know, and they threw a log, and he just moved, and if he wouldn't have moved, the log would have killed him. These Texas squatches are out for blood, and he shot one, and he was like, "I regret," like he said, like what most people say, he heard the screams and the moaning, and then like they ran off, and it was quiet, but he heard, and he was like, "I feel like I just sinned. I feel like I killed a human." And he's
Weren't they trying to hurt him though?
Yeah, and that's what. But he was like, even though they were, he regrets every moment of it. He wish he could take it back. He thought what he did was immoral, and that seems like like a consensus when one of them is shot. The person that did it feels bad remorse. Like, it's very strange because. But then Wes comes in and is like, I would have done the same thing. I probably would have shot more and a lot earlier, man. And it looks like you were, So, yeah, it was a crazy one, man. You got to listen to that one. Another East Texas, dude. We got to go.
I don't know if that means we should go, but it would be interesting to see.
Because that's where Wes goes. He says, like, East Texas is, like, the place, like, just as good as Washington State.
Wes goes out there?
Yeah, a lot. He's like, I love Texas. Like, I think his last meet and greet was in Dallas, and then he was going to go east.
Has he ever witnessed anything like that?
Yeah, he's never told. I've never heard his stories, but I'm sure it's like his first episodes. But he definitely has encountered. But if you don't know what we're talking about Sasquatch Chronicles. Probably the best podcast. It's 5 stars. Every episode's like an hour or 2, and it's all firsthand encounters and coming from the people, and they're telling their story. It's crazy.
Yeah, I really enjoy listening to them. They have a lot of different stuff, like Sasquatch, Dogman, all these different entities, all these different encounters. It's just interesting stuff to listen to because, even if you're still on the fence and you're still, questioning, what's really out there, there's a lot of truth tellers, a lot of people telling their stories and what they've seen and witnessed. And it's really interesting and it's really informative. And it's just something I think, most of us should know, or all of us should know at some point in our life, because, I'm not saying we'll all encounter it, but if we do encounter them, it'd be nice to hear other stories and, know some information about these things so you're not completely out of it when you do witness it, or maybe someone else witnesses it and then you can put them on to something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, just go at it, go about it with an open mind. Because you don't want to be unprepared if something were to happen like that, and you'd probably start doing drugs or something to numb the pain, or something, alcohol, some kind of, you'd probably go down a dark hole. So.
Yeah, you don't want to be that slot receiver coming across the middle, running into Patrick Willis.
Or Vontaze Burfict.
Yeah, you want to be the guy that's ran past Patrick Willis, and you're wide open, and you take it to the house.
You want to be the quarterback on the Philly special.
But yeah, man, get knowledge on these topics. We might sound crazy to you, but do your due diligence, man, and look it up. Do some research yourself. If you listen to it and you still don't believe, that's fine, but don't judge based off what you know now, because if you at least don't know about them, then you don't know enough. You don't know a lot.
Yeah, just know about it, man. Just so if you do, you're hiking the Lone Star Trail and you happen upon something crazy, you're not like deathly afraid, or you kind of know these things are around, and if I go about it peacefully, I'll get out of this. And I can tell Luke and Aaron about my experience. 281 Sasquatch.
Yeah, if there's any comments or concerns or anything that you would like to, say or message us about, feel free.
No, seriously, if you really had an encounter and you're one of my friends or a loyal listener, please reach out to us on Facebook. Direct message me, and we will personally bring our studio to you so you can be comfortable, and we'll bring root beer and popcorn.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, encounters or just questions that you may have on this topic or anything that you would like to share or discuss.
No. If you have questions, we're not going to come give you a microphone. But if you have an encounter, we will. Because we're not experts, but we'd like to listen to your story. I'm not answering no questions. I don't know anything.
No, but I'm saying if just basic questions, or if you just want to talk about it.
I ain't giving them root beer and popcorn for that.
That's fine, but I'm saying if someone wants to discuss or has questions, I'm more than welcome to talk about it. You can also reach out on Twitter to FWYH Podcast. Send DMs, add us, do whatever you got to do. But
yeah, we're about to have a lot of visuals. We're going to take a podcast picture so you guys know what we look like. It's going to be really cool. We're going to start a YouTube video. I think we might...
There's actually YouTube out right now. It's just the audio, but, soon, within the next few, podcasts, hopefully we can get some videos out.
Yeah, and we plan on, doing live streams, maybe the draft, or, we're planning... fantasy football, I think, is our specialty, because that's what we're really good at and what we really like to talk about. So, we're about to... When football season comes around, it's going to be really, really gnarly, and you guys are going to get your full helping of Forget What You Heard. And we're going to
Forget What You Heard fantasy football, baby.
Yeah, it's going to be insane. We got a lot of cool takes. That's something to look forward to. But in the meantime, we're going to get some pictures out. We're going to put some, gnarly pictures out there. We're going to look cute. We're going to look handsome. And we're going to be ready to keep podding. And we plan on doing, some live streams, which would be pretty cool. Maybe our... fantasy draft, maybe the drafts to make, because when you watch them on TV, they're kind of boring. You can get it from our take. We're kind of loosey-goosey, a little silly. So that might be pretty fun to join us on that. And we'll crack a root beer and we'll, we got a lot of plans, so stay tuned. Oh, leave a Johnny, leave a...
Yeah, in the meantime, though, we're going to continue to drop, sports and Sasquatch and...
We're gonna keep going down some rabbit holes. If you have anything, because we like to dive into things, so if you have suggestions, please message. And of course, we will give you credit. We'll shout you out. So, thank you guys for listening. It's been an honor and pleasure to do these shows. It's really fun. Thank you so much for the support, as always. So we're signing off for today, and we'll see you next time. Peace, love, and happiness. Oh, dude, I just farted.